Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Welcome back to my channel. I am SW Rand. My friends call me Steve, so call me Steve. And we're back for another little time lapse. I was working recently on a commission, a really cool post-apocalyptic. It's a Discord group called The Cons. Check them out. I'll try to link below. I believe it's an open Discord, public Discord right now, or at least they have a section that's public. I happened to meet one of the members at a local convention, and that's also a testament to how conventions are great, and you never know what's going to come from them, so on and so forth. So this is a really cool piece. I had worked with this client once before, and he wanted to bump it up a little bit, do more of a half-page illustration. And within that, he had like a big scene planned out. And so to try to get as close as possible to that, I decided that 3D would be the best way to go here. And with 3D, you get a lot of options. So I'm going to bring you through what I did. All right, so this is the future. This is the effing future. Like, once I have to spend some time with Gravity Sketch more, like, to get everything good. But as you see, I'm just kind of playing with the user interface. I recently just built a computer over Christmas that can actually kind of handle it. And so that's, for me, it was really awesome. I really wanted to try this technique. I've been wanting to try this technique for a while. There's like a setting to make it look like a studio, almost like a factory, which is so totally cool. So I went and decided to work in that and get just a cool little lighting setup going. These are Kitbash 3D products. I can't remember. I will link it down below which actual products they are. And I basically was able to bring them into VR and start kind of separating them and playing with them. As I said before, I definitely will have to kind of figure out the user interface a lot more and somehow just, yeah, okay, so that's what was happening. Sorry, we're getting a lot of lag in the video, and that was because my computer couldn't handle everything. Yeah. So in this video, I went back, I kind of cleaned everything up, reduced the polygon size, and imported again. And if you can see really quick, some of these, yeah, I was given a few references as to what the scene looked like and what that would be like. And so I try to recreate it with like a little bit of like my own modern spin using these Kitbash kits. And I think he was happy with it. I did have to make some changes. I went a little too overboard, but that's okay. That's what happened. I did want to try to give a little bit of a modern aesthetic to, you know, these isometric buildings. So I just try to think of like a big kind of war scene. It's like, okay, so I was building it. I think it got too much for me. So I decided, all right, you know, to save money and time, it's better to switch over to a program I know already and can quickly build something out in. So I switch over to Blender. I use Blender and Cinema 4D mostly. Those are my two 3D packages right now. Each one has a little bit better, you know, better. Like I like to model inside Blender. It's because how I learned Blender was the first 3D package I ever learned. So I like to model and edit my models, all that kind of stuff inside Blender. I like motion animation stuff. That's Cinema 4D. And a lot of like the, you know, like building a city using like array modifiers or something like scatter modifiers. Those always kind of seem to be better inside Cinema 4D. At least in my opinion, right now, 2.8 is Blender 2.8 has been pretty good though thus far. I'll definitely look into more, and it's a time thing too. I already know how to do it inside Cinema 4D, so as you can see, I'm just kind of bringing in buildings and placing them and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. I went a little overboard on this. I did want to build out a whole kind of couple of blocks just in case we ever decide to do some future projects. I have it built already. I'm sure I'll get to it at some point, but it was a lot for my computer. I've never pushed this whole scene when I finish it. I've never pushed Blender to this level before. I think the scene ended up having something like 13 million polygons, which is not good at all. I think at the end I actually had to move to doing, which you should be doing if you are modeling, which I wasn't initially during this, using instances and appending models from different files. I forgot about that until it was a little bit too late, and then I was like, oh, yep, should have been doing that the whole time. I might have to just like bring this, I want to learn Unreal, so maybe I'll bring this into Unreal, animate it, get a cool scene going. Post-apocalyptic world here. Alright, so there's a big jump there, but basically I used a poser program to pose out all these models. I built all the, all this reference using what I could, like I had stated above, or, stated before, which was just models that I can find or easily manipulate. And I'm trying to, just photo bash some texture into the scene here. Just dropping in texture, try and get that to look alright. Try and fix the perspective a little bit. What else was I doing? I wanted a triangular type composition. He wanted the main focus to be the act of, assassinating this character, and the celebration that happened after. I think right here I'm trying to match the specs he gave me a little bit better. Yeah, so in between what you saw, I built out the city, I built all these models, I sent him a few kind of lighting compositions. He just wanted a standard kind of daylight scene, high noon-ish, which is always really tough, because it's not super dramatic, because everything is completely washed out, essentially, with light. So I was kind of put in a position as like, how do you give this that cinematic look? How do you give it the kind of the concept art feel? How do you make it dramatic? How do you present a cool scene? How all that kind of stuff. As you can see, I need to really work on my management. Luckily, I didn't have to deliver this file at all, so that's something when you have a real client. File manage properly, or merge and move on almost. So yeah, my computer's kind of hating me right now, but just going through and touching it up, match the scene a little better. I think the way I was looking, I was like, that guy's way too tall for where he is. So trying to fix perspective and atmosphere perspective, trying to make stuff feel right. Just going through like Warzone pictures and just trying to find elements I could use. Can't remember if I decided to keep this or not. I think I did. Might have. Oh, one thing I remember definitely was that towards the end of this, I felt like it wasn't feeling right and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then it dawned on me, it was basically elements. So I had fire going, so I put some flames into the final product, and sparks and whatnot, and some more dust, and working on the atmosphere perspective, and that seemed to really tie it together. So I think that's my overall tip. Don't neglect the actual world scene. Put yourself in that scene. The smells, the sights, the elements, do you have wind? Do you have fire? Fire and smoke, stuff like that really makes it real world. I'll try to find the final. I don't know if he'll let me put it up, but if he does, I'll try to add it. If not, this was a really cool insight into how the future of concept art will be. And thank you for joining me. Hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm growing this channel. I hope you guys come back. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these process videos. All right, thank you.